Hey movie fans, it's finally here! The Force Awakens. We've been counting down all the Star Wars movies together. We've been through the highs of the original trilogy and the lows of the prequels. Now where does this new movie fall? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it soul-crushingly bad like the prequels? Thankfully, no. A resounding no. In fact, this is probably one of the best movies you will see this year. This is a true return to form. Now, because I believe in the sanctity of the film-going experience, this will be a completely spoiler-free review. I will eventually get around to doing a spoiler-filled review for the people that have seen this movie, give us a chance to talk about it, but I won't do that for a little bit to give you a chance to see this movie because I believe so strongly in you guys seeing this film because, wow, this is Star Wars and it's back in full force. Now, I was on the fence. The closer I got to seeing The Force Awakens, the more I was like, I don't know if it's going to be good or not. I was plagued with doubts, and as soon as the music swelled and Star Wars on screen, all of it just disappeared and you sink back into Star Wars. It was fantastic. Now, this film blends the old and the new particularly well. It takes place 30 years after Return of the Jedi. So, the characters that we know and love, they're going to be in very different places than when we left them. The opening crawl, I won't get into details, but the opening crawl leaves you in a very good spot. You don't get all the information you need. This movie leaves you with a lot of questions, but it's been 30 years, so eventually those gaps will be filled with the comics and novelizations and etc. For those people that are obsessed with canon and want to know about it. Sorry, you don't get all the answers you want, but it's hard to fill you in on 30 years of history in a 2-hour movie. That being said, the opening crawl brings you up to speed perfectly, and then you're introduced to your main characters. You got Rey, Finn, and Poe Dameron, more or less as 3 big characters, the 3 newbies on the block, and every single one of them absolutely crush it. Rey is fantastic, played by Daisy Ridley, a newcomer, and then you have Finn, played by John Boyega, also a newcomer, and then you have Oscar Isaac, who is probably the one with the most experience out of the 3 of them, but still not very much. He's also going to be playing Apocalypse in the upcoming X-Men Apocalypse film. All 3 of them were absolutely fantastic and displayed great chemistry together. Like, wow, you guys seem like you've been doing this a long time, but they flowed so naturally. They also flowed incredibly well with the original cast. They're back and they're just as good as you remember. Yes, they've aged a little bit, but they're still at their core the characters that you know. Han Solo's still doing Han Solo stuff. He's exactly that same character. Princess Leia, not even Princess Leia anymore, but I'm not going to get into spoilers about that. But she's different but the same, like the film itself. It's what you know, mixed with some new stuff. And I gotta say here, Kylo Ren is one of my favorite villains in a very long time. Adam Driver played it perfectly. He was a fantastic villain. He's menacing, but he's got this other side to him that you'll see in the film. I'm not going to go down that route, but he's a very complex villain. The film does a great job of separating him from Darth Vader. They're 2 different villains, and I like that they didn't just copy-paste. Now, I do have some gripes about this movie. Don't hate me. No movie's perfect. This movie's not perfect, but it's pretty close. There are some themes and ideas that are reminiscent of previous Star Wars movies. It's hard to get into without going into spoilers, but there's certain aspects to this movie that kind of feel repetitive, but in a good way. J.J. Abrams, the director of the film, utilizes past themes and elements to the advantage of the film, and more or less brings you down memory lane, but doesn't rehash the same treads. It's a new tale with some familiar twists to it. Now, I also thought there were some shoehorned references. There's a lot of good callbacks to the original trilogy, like none to the prequels, hallelujah. But there was kind of a couple references, maybe 1 or 2, that seemed out of place, that kind of took me out of it. It was like the director just looking at us going, hey, you remember what I'm talking about? But nothing so drastic as to ruin the overall film for me. Overall, it was still fantastic. with a lot of great references, some beaten over the head, and some repetitive themes that we've seen in previous Star Wars movies. But for me, the thing that brought me back into it was seeing the things that I grew up with again and hearing the sounds again. The roar of the TIE fighter, seeing the X-Wing in action, which that was probably one of my favorite scenes. Just seeing X-Wings fly together as a team, and the way they introduce certain characters are absolutely fitting to the characters and the stories that's being told. And it's just nice to go down a memory lane, but with a new story, more characters, just blending the old and new perfectly. I will give this movie a 9 out of 10. Yeah, it's that good. Go out and see it before some idiot on the internet ruins it for you. Like, it's just that good. Now, what did you guys think of The Force Awakens? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you're seeing and want to see more, subscribe to the channel, or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at 17 Movie Reviews. Stay sharp, movie guys and gals, and may the Force be with you.